Hey guys, thanks for obviously stopping by and watching the video. Just remember, if you like it, just leave a like. Um, and if you do find yourself coming back here on the regular, then please subscribe. It may not help you a lot, but it does help me a lot. So thank you, and let's get on with the video. Bonjour, les Canadiens, and welcome to the week in review. Sorry that this was late. I fucking spaced it last night when I was planning on recording it, but I fucking spaced it like an idiot. But don't worry, it's here. It's like very late at night or early in the morning, whenever you're watching this. So let's just get ourselves right into it, starting with Thursday Night Football between the Saints and the Cardinals, and a game that was actually decent. Yeah, go fucking figure. We had a Thursday Night Football game that was decent, ladies and gentlemen. What do I mean by decent? Well, I actually mean decent because both teams put a hell of a game, and it actually looked like an enjoyable contest. We don't normally get that nowadays, folks. We don't normally get that nowadays. But thankfully, we do now. For the Saints, the combined effort of Taysom Hill and Andy Dalton combined for 30 for 47, 409 passing. Actually, no, 32 for 49. Sorry, 409 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Jesus Christ, Andy. Kamara led the rushers today, 11 carries for 49 yards. And Chris Olave has shown to be a reliable ass receiver, 7 receptions for 106 yards. For those Cardinals, Kyler Murray has actually started to gain his fucking mojo back. 20 for 29, 204 yards and a touchdown. And a new name on the running court I've never seen before, Eno Benjamin. 12 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown. Hey, that's always really good to see. And for receiving, it was DeAndre Hopkins' day, 10 receptions for 103 yards. It still got the job done for those Cardinals as it led to a victory by a score of 42-34. The Cardinals look good for right now, but for how long will this last? Only time will tell. Speaking of what time will tell, the Cleveland Browns this season, as they transition to their game against the Baltimore Ravens for older iterations of themselves. In Cleveland, is Old Bay still overrated? Is it? Or is you trying to play for the Super Bowl overrated? Thank you, Old Bay Twitter, for posting that, because that was honestly the best meme I've seen throughout coming into the week. Seriously, it was awesome. But the Browns and Ravens, they actually had an alright game. Though it seemed like there were some sloppy moments, seriously. But it's something for a watchable game. For those Browns, Jacoby Brissett went 22 for 27, 258 yards. Nicholas Chubby, carried the ball 16 times for 91 yards and a touchdown. And for receiving, it was Amari Cooper, 3 catches for 74 yards. So that's what you spent a 5th round pick on, Cleveland? Well, I mean, it's not a bad pick, not a bad price for a Cowboy receiver like Amari Cooper, but finally, for the Ravens, Lamar Jackson went 9 for 16, 120 yards only. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? For rushing, it was Gus Edwards, 16 carries for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pretty good. And for receiving, Rashawn Bateman, 4 receptions for 42 yards. Doesn't help when you don't have... Oh, no, you did have Mark Andrews this week. Okay, I thought you didn't. But you still won the game now by a score of 23-20, making Cleveland consume all of the goddamn Old Bay in your goddamn arsenal. Now let's move on to the Buccaneers taking on the Panthers. Before we address this game, Carolina, why the fuck did you trade McCaffrey? I understand your shit. I understand that you're not in a favorable spot anymore. But that was your cornerstone. I mean, to be fair, you did get a good amount of draft capital. A 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th in this upcoming draft, and a 5th in the next draft, and a 5th round pick in the draft after next year's. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible. You gain a lot of draft capital there that you can use. So I mean, it all works out, I guess, right? But other than this game, this is just a massive what the fuck. I'll talk about the post game stuff after. For the Bucks, Tom Brady went 32 for 49. Oh hey, same thing as the Compliance Saints effort. 290 yards. Where John White carried the ball 6 times for 24 yards, and receptions was led by Mike Evans, 9 receptions for 96 yards. For the I just lost my damn mind. The PJ Walker went 16 for 22, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. By the way, I know the thing has it listed as Philip Walker, but it's PJ Walker. It's PJ Walker. He was an XFL legend. Dante Freeman carried the ball 15 times for 118 yards. First of all, where the fuck did Dante Freeman come from for your team? Because I don't remember you guys having him at all. Secondly, holy shit, what an impact. And for receiving, DJ Moore caught the ball 7 times for 69 yards and a touchdown, which makes it ever so more nice. So when you beat the fucking Buccaneers 21-3, okay, let me ask you a question, Carolina. Are you tanking or are you competing? Because after that, nobody knows. Speaking of nobody knows what the hell, this game between the Falcons and the fucking Bengals. It's a good game. Okay, it was a good game. Both teams did well, but I'll talk about Joe Burrow when I get to the Bengals stats, but jeez Louise. Some did not go well for one, and the other one, everything seemed to click. For the Falcons, Marcus Mariota went 8 for 13, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Algier? I don't know. I have no idea how to say his name. If you know, let me know in the comments, please. 50 yards on 16 carries and a touchdown. And for receiving, Damier Byrd, never heard of that guy before, 1 reception, 75 yards and a touchdown. Hey, you gotta respect it. For the Bengals, Joe Burrow went 34 42, 481 yards and 3 touchdowns. 345 of those yards came in the first half. Holy shit. Joe Mixon led the rushing corps, 17 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown. And I'm going to give this receiver shout out, like I always do, to 2 receivers. We'll start with the leader, Tyler Boyd. 8 receptions, 155 yards, and a touchdown. The other one being Jamar Chase, because it's Jamar Chase. 8 receptions, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It helped you get the win against Atlanta, though. Seriously, damn. Moving on, we got the Lions taking on the Cowboys, and this game was just obvious. That's all I'm going to tell you. For the Lions, Jared Goff went 21 for 26, 228 yards, and 2 picks. Jamal Williams ran 15 times for 79 yards. I almost said 78. And Khalif Freeman caught the ball 5 times for 75 yards. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott returning to the lineup after the injury. He suffered back in week 1, went 19 for 25, 207 yards and a touchdown. Tony Pollard carried the ball 12 times for 83 yards. And for receiving, CD's Nutslam caught the ball 4 times for 70 yards. 24-6 Cowboys win, and honest to God, it was expected. Moving on to things that were expected nowadays, because I can't even believe I'm saying this in 2022. We got the Jets taking on the Giants. Like, the Jets taking on the Giants. No, the Giants taking on the Jaguars. Jesus fuck. Your reward is 2022. Daniel Jones is not coming back next year unless you extend him. What is this? Seriously, what mojo bullshit has Daniel Jones been on to where he can make his team look like shit? What the fuck happened? Okay, I just want to know What the fuck happened? What changed? I don't know. Daniel Jones, speaking of which, 19 for 30, 202 yards and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley carried the ball 24 times for 110 yards. But let's not disrespect Daniel Jones. 11 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, he had 100 yards rushing this game too. Holy fuck. And for receiving, Darius Slayton caught the ball only 3 times for 58 yards and a touchdown. At least for Central, at least. For the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence went 22 for 43, 310 yards. Travis Etienne had a breakout game. 14 carries for 114 yards and a touchdown. And yes, this comes after, well, actually not after, because that hasn't happened yet by this game. But I will tell you, James Robinson was traded. Yes, on Monday, James Robinson, their running back that they've had for a long time, their star running back, was traded to the New York Jets for a conditional 6th-round pick. Condition being he must get to 600 rushing yards for it to become a 5th-round pick. Wow. So I guess we're getting a whole lot of bullshit today. But, I don't know what to tell you, folks. And for receiving, Christian Kirk led 7 receptions, 96 yards. Giants, you nearly gave your fans a heart attack because you nearly lost this game, but you still won. So congratulations. Go fuck yourselves. Because somehow you're 6-1. Speaking of how things don't fucking make sense, let's go to the game between Green Bay and Washington, and oh my god. Hey, Wisconsin, I know your senator back in the 50s started this whole Red Scare thing. But did you expect 70 or so years later for the commies to come back to Wisconsin and bite you right in the ass and beat your favorite football team? No, you didn't expect it? Never did I. Let's just keep going. Aaron Rodgers went 23 for 35, 194 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones carried the ball 8 times for 23 yards, and Allen Lazard caught the ball 6 times for 55 yards. For those Commanders, the return of another XFL Legend to the starting role because of an injury. Taylor Heineke. 20 for 33, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. The legend himself, Brian Robinson Jr., carried the ball 20 times for 73 yards. And for receiving, Terry McLaurin caught it 5 times for 73 yards and a touchdown. And Green Bay, I think you might be in trouble. You lost to the goddamn Commanders. You happy with yourselves? Because if I were a fan of that team, I would not be. I know Grossi ain't happy. Just saying. You guys might be screwed. And with Buffalo next week? Good luck! But moving on, we got the Colts taking on the Titans in an AFC South showdown. These two meet for the last time this season. And it was actually not a terrible game. Kind of low scoring, but it wasn't overly bad. Could have certainly been worse, but it wasn't bad. For the Colts, Matt Ryan went 33 for 44, 243 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Jonathan Taylor went 10 carries for 58 yards today, and Paris Campbell caught the ball 10 times for 70 yards and a touchdown. Seriously, Paris Campbell is a great receiver. I'm not kidding. For the Titans, Ryan Tannehill went 13 for 20, 132 yards, and that's that. Derrick Henry actually returned to form. 30 carries for 128 yards. Jeez Louise. And for receiving, Austin Hooper caught the ball 3 times for 56 yards, en route to a Titans victory by a score of 19-10. Could have been worse, but hey, it was actually a decent showdown. Moving on, we got the Texans taking on the Raiders, and everyone knew what this outcome was going to be the moment that it happened. That's all I'm going to say. Davis Mills, the uncut dick neck dude, went 28 for 41, 302 yards, a touchdown and 2 touchdowns and an interception. God, I'm losing my fucking mind. Damian Pierce carried the ball 20 times for 92 yards, and Jordan Atkins caught the ball 3 times for 68 yards. For the Raiders, Derek Carr went 21 for 27, 241 yards and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs had a fucking day. 20 carries, 143 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Hope fantasy owners like having him because he's actually fucking viable. He needed time to break out, and he broke out, right? And for receiving, Devontae Adams caught the ball 8 times for 95 yards. Raiders win. Everyone saw that coming. Don't you fucking dare say you didn't. Moving on, we got the Jets taking on the Broncos. Oh boy. So, a little backstory. There's a reason why that James Robinson trade happened. Okay, this is kind of tying those two ends together. The reason being, during this game, which I will mention Breece Hall because he's a rushing leader. Breece Hall is done for this season, unfortunately, because he tore his ACL and he tore his meniscus. Fucking yikes. I know that pain. I know it, and it does not fucking feel good. Breece, you're so good. You were so good as a fucking rusher for the Jets this year. Just get better, dude. You are honestly one of the only things keeping this team going. So, with that being said, the fucker of mothers, Zach Wilson, went 16 for 26 and 121 yards. Breece Hall carried the ball 4 times for 72 yards and a touchdown prior to the unfortunate injury. Seriously, I hope he gets better because he's honestly really good and I actually like him. And for receiving, Michael Carter caught the ball twice for 45 yards. For the Broncos, wait, there's no Chef Russ this week? Oh no, because he was out injured. So enter Brett Rypien. Interesting. 24 for 46, 225 yards, and an interception. Melvin Gordon ran 11 times for 33 yards. And Jerry Jeudy caught the ball 7 times for 96 yards. At least he tried to keep it close, but fell to the Jets, who were 5-2. What the fuck is happening in this NFL landscape anymore? So moving on, we have the Chiefs taking on the Niners. The Niners newly jacked with their newest running toy, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, yeah, you give up all the draft capital, but it's Christian McCaffrey. You guys want to make a Super Bowl, right? So, I mean, this is the way to do it. Moving on. Patrick Mahomes went 25 for 34, 424 yards. God damn. 3 touchdowns and an interception. Isaiah Pacheco carried the ball 8 times for 43 yards. And Juju has pretty much earned the right to do TikToks on the field this week. 7 receptions for 124 yards and a touchdown. God damn. For the Niners, the combined effort of Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy went 29 for 46, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Jeffrey Wilson ran the ball 7 times for 54 yards. Don't think they didn't use McCaffrey. They used him this game, not long after they traded for him. He ran 8 times for 38 yards. Not the best debut to have in the world. But for receiving, George Kittle went 6 times in the air for 98 yards and a touchdown. The Chiefs just fucking smoked them. 44-23 is your score. Jesus, oh man. Moving on, we got the Seahawks taking on the Chargers. Kenneth Walker is legit. I'm fucking telling you right now. Do not sleep on this man. He's a rookie, but he will fucking run right through you. Geno Smith went 20 for 27, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Speaking of Kenneth Walker, 23 carries, 168 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You want to go about giving your rookie running back the opportunity that he deserves? There you go. And he did nothing but impress. And for receiving, Marquise Goodwin caught the ball 4 times for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pretty damn good. For those Chargers, Justin Herbert went 33 for 51, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Austin Eckler went 9 times on the ground for 31 yards and a touchdown. Austin Eckler also leads the receiving corps. 12 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. So 2 total touchdowns today. So wasn't enough to beat Seahawks. 37-23. Good job, Chargers. I don't know why you're losing to fucking teams that don't deserve to win. And now, on to Sunday Night Football. We got the Steelers taking on the Dolphins. Who expected the Dolphins to win this game? Seriously, I mean, no one expected the Steelers to win this game. No one really did. Speaking of those Steelers, Kenny Pickett went 32 for 44, 257 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Najee Harris carried the ball 17 times for 65 yards, and Pratt Freiermuth caught the ball 8 times for 75 yards. For the Dolphins, the savior has returned. Tua Tagovailoa, 21 for 35, 261 yards, and a touchdown. Raheem Mostert carried the ball 16 times for 79 yards. And for receiving, Jalen Waddle caught it 4 times for 88 yards. Dolphins win by a score of 16-10 on his triumphant return. Seriously though, he deserves every bit of praise because he is really good. And now on to Monday Night Football. Oh fuck. We got the Bears and the Patriots. Basically, all I'm going to tell you for my reaction to this game is just watch my fucking stream from the other night, okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. Just watch the stream from a couple of nights ago towards the end and you'll see my reaction because that is exactly what this was. Pain, misery, depression, agony. That's really what this game was for me. For the Bears, Justin Fields went 13 for 21, 179 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Justin Fields also ran for 14 times for 82 yards and a touchdown. Fuck you. And for receiving, Darnell Mooney caught the ball 3 times for 53 yards. For the Patriots, after only 4 drives, Mac Jones was taken out, and during that time he went 3 for 6, 13 yards, and an interception. And then in comes Bailey Zappi. 14 for 22, 185 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. God, he was throwing dimes. Ramondre Stevenson ran with it 11 times for 39 yards and a touchdown. For Stevenson, might as well, I'm talking stats, even though he didn't lead, he caught it 8 times for 59 yards. Who did lead the receiving, though, was Devontae Parker, catching it 3 times for 68 yards. 33 to fucking 14. I feel pain whenever I fucking think about the Patriots right now. After that game, just pain. But that will do it for this week, so I hope you guys did enjoy. Sorry again about the video being late. I just completely spaced it. But if you did enjoy, leave a like. Comment down below if you guys want to see anything next. And if you have not done so already, subscribe and join the Logical Nation. Until next time, je suis le Logique Canadien. Bonne nuit et au revoir.